What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Hawkeye Season 1, Episodes 3 and 4, Echoes and Partners, am I right? So, again, I have to do these 2 in a row because I watched both of these episodes 2 in a row and wasn't able to stop to do a review between them. Thankfully, for Episode 5, which is already out, and I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet, I should be able to do just that one by itself, so hopefully return to a bit more normalcy for what my TV shows reviews are. But yeah, so this one is a bit easier to talk about, though, 2 episodes, because the first one, episode 3, not a whole lot to talk about, if I'm being honest. It's very bare bones. You know, we get to meet Echo for the first time and get to see, you know, her life story and all that, which was interesting. I heard that apparently they got Alakwa Cox, I think is that, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, but they got, I think, one of her family members, like a cousin or something, to play her younger self, which, you know, kind of helps with the whole they kind of look alike. So, thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, we get to see a bit more of her and, you know, her in action, see what she's about. Apparently, you know, her father was killed by Ronin, and so that's why she has this vendetta, which kind of makes sense. What doesn't make sense, though, is she, for some reason, doesn't believe Hawkeye when he's like, no, this girl doesn't have anything to do with this. She's like, no. She's Ronin because she was wearing the suit. I'm just like, yeah, that's the only reason why anybody would be wearing the suit, is if they were Ronin. Like, surely nobody found it. What doesn't make sense about that is there was the one guy, you know, the firefighter that was wearing it and had it on his Instagram. I'm just like, how come they didn't see that and go, oh, he's the Ronin? Like, why particularly did they think, oh, well, she is wearing it and she fought some of us, so she's the Ronin, even though she doesn't even have the Ronin sword? Hello? So that was a little weird, but we do get to see her fight, and she's a very badass fighter. The whole chase scene that follows is basically most of the episode, which is why I said this first episode doesn't have a whole lot to talk about. I mean, the chase scene was fine. Some good moments, some kind of goofy moments. I think the coolest part for me, though, was just that one rotating shot that they had inside the car. I really don't know whether they were just in a green screen area, if they were actually driving on a road and CGIing some of this stuff in. I don't know. A lot of it looked very convincing, though. And it was just a cool setup, you know, that slow rotating, like, you see the front seat, and then something's going on behind, so we'll turn and we'll look behind. And I don't know, I like the one-shots in general, but that was a pretty cool one, because it was pretty unique from anything I've seen, at least. But yeah, so all of this builds, you know, the action, and then finally gets done, and then there's some funny moments where, because his hearing aid, Hawkeye's hearing aid is broken, he doesn't hear what she's saying, so there's a little bit of miscommunication, some funny scenes with that as well. One touching moment where he has to take the call even though he can't hear Nathaniel's voice. So yeah, all in all, I mean, it was a good episode. It was okay, nothing fantastic, but it ends with a bit of a cliffhanger where they show up in Kate's mom's apartment, and then Jack is there with the Ronin sword, and, you know, threatening Hawkeye for a second. So that picks up into episode 4, and this is where things really feel like they get going a bit more, because we learn a lot more about what's going on. You know, we learn that Kazi, one of the tracksuit mafia guys, is working for Jack's company, which of course makes him look more suspicious. And, you know, Eleanor has this conversation with Hawkeye, which, I mean, I don't know, for me, it sounded like a bit of a threat, and we do see her calling someone later that, I guess, is the one that called in Yelena, maybe, because Yelena shows up out of nowhere, and we do know, you know, at the end of Black Widow, she was handed a picture of Hawkeye by Valentina, and basically told, hey, he's the one that killed your sister, go get him. So whether or not that has anything to do with Eleanor's call, I'm not entirely sure, but it seems weird that she wasn't involved, and then all of a sudden now she is, after Eleanor made the call, because it feels like they would have been doing something a bit sooner. I've actually seen a couple theories that, oh, well, maybe she's the aunt, you know, the aunt of Kate that has the apartment where they're staying this whole time. I don't know if that's a good theory or not. It's just something I had read recently. I'm like, okay, I mean, that it does work. I don't know if it makes sense, but I guess for what we see in the show, we've not seen the aunt yet. And we also haven't seen the uncle either. And that's kind of that's kind of the interesting thing is I don't know who the uncle's supposed to be. You know, they're talking about him, this uncle character. We don't see his face. We don't see anything about him. Just nothing really to go off of. So I'm curious to see if he's going to be somebody big, if it's going to be a character we know, or if it's just they're building him up because they don't want to show him yet. I don't know. But I am curious to see what they decide to do with, I guess, this whole whoever's in charge of all of this. It seems like they're building him up to be a deadly guy. So whether that's going to pay off in this season or whether it's something they're building up for like future Marvel stuff or even a season 2 of Hawkeye, I'm curious to see what's happening there. But yeah, as far as Eleanor though, there was something else that kind of stuck out to me about her, and that's when she's talking to Hawkeye before he leaves. You know, she's giving him a little bit of a speech about like, you know, do you have kids and all this. The one line that stood out to me in that, and maybe this is just me because I'm one of those people that I like to try to figure out what's going on before it happens. And again, I've talked about this before, but Jack to me is too obvious a bad guy. It feels like they're trying to make him so obviously like he's the one, he did it, that it's not going to be him. If they're going the traditional route, again, they could be trying to throw a fast one and, oh no, it actually is him. Like, we made him so obvious a villain because he is the villain. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but it feels more like it's supposed to still be a mystery to us, which means to me Jack's not the villain. But Eleanor does kind of seem a little suspicious, and even, you know, I'm watching it with my girlfriend, and she's like, I feel like the mom might have done it because she's just kind of suspicious, and on top of that we saw Armand threatening her at one point before he was killed. So there's a lot of little things that kind of connect to her. Well, with that in mind, when I'm watching the scene, that's kind of run through my mind is like, is she connected to this somehow? So whenever she throws out, you know, look at what happened to Black Widow, or however she said the line, you know, like Natasha got, or Black Widow got killed, that for me was kind of like almost a threat. And then she asks, you know, do you have any kids? And again, that's where my mind's headed. I'm just like, is she trying to figure out like if he has kids so she can use that to threaten him? And I don't know. Didn't see a whole lot outside of those lines. And then again, we saw the call. So that's something else that sort of builds on the theory that maybe she's more connected than we realize. But she's definitely kind of up there in my list of suspects right now. Jack, he's there because the show is making him a suspect, but again, I feel like it's too obvious. And then of course, whoever this uncle is might be, I don't know if we're going to get to know him anytime soon. And just for kicks, I'll throw Armand the Seventh in there as well. Because, I mean, did you see how bratty that kid was being? I could see him killing his great-great-great-grandfather because, hey, he was treating me like a kid. Stab in the back. Anyways. But aside from that, though, we move on and we see, you know, Hawkeye basically going and trying to figure out more about what's going on. Talking to Laura about a lot of this as well, which it's kind of fun to see her involved. I don't really know what she does. You know, she's still kind of a mystery at this point because we know she's his wife. And we know that she's kind of holding down the fort when he's not around, when he's doing Hawkeye things. Don't really know what she does, though. And it seems like, you know, he's calling her about this information, and then she even knows about the watch that was stolen from the tower. Don't know what that's about either. So that's something else to think about. But it seems like she has a lot of information. Now, whether that's through her work, like what she does, she's able to go get this information, or whether this is kind of how they operate, like maybe she was more involved than we realize in his Hawkeye life. She could be like almost kind of an oracle for Batman. That's what she is for Hawkeye. She's the girl that can, you know, she's on the phone and she can look up all this information and relay it to him so he can make better decisions about what he does next. But I hope to find out a bit more about her going forward because we don't know much about her, and that's kind of one of the mysteries that I hope they build upon is what does Laura do and how does she have all this information and why is she being so secretive? Because their kids know that he's Hawkeye, so why is she being secretive around the kids as far as what he's looking into? But what else? He does get the Ronin sword back from Jack, so that's good for him because I know that's something else he was looking for. Still don't really know why. I think it's just trying maybe to bury the legacy. They haven't really made it abundantly clear why he's tracking down the Ronin suit. That's my best guess, though, is that he's doing it because he doesn't want Ronin to resurface. He doesn't want that legacy to continue on, so he wants to bury it before it can build again. So maybe that's why, but now it kind of also feels like he's trying to protect Kate in this. But then also at the end of this episode, he just sort of pushes her aside and says, nope, we're done. So a little bit of a cliche, the third act split up between the two main characters where now they don't like each other and now he's not going to work with her and all of this stuff. I don't know. What's frustrating about it is because they had a really nice scene where she brought over all of the the Christmas movies and stuff. That was a really nice scene, and it really showed that there is some chemistry between the two of them, because we haven't seen a whole lot throughout the season. It's been a lot of her fangirling about him and him being the straight man to the goofy, oh my gosh, it's Hawkeye. And it's been funny, but there's not really been that team chemistry between the two. We got a bit of it in this episode, and then by the end of it, because all of a sudden a Black Widow shows up that turns out to be Yelena, now he's just like, no, you're done. You're done. I can't have you involved in this. Now the stakes are real. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, she's not just going to sit around and do nothing. And it's... I don't understand, because I've seen it so many times in all sorts of fantasy or superhero shows or movies. This whole, I'm going to protect you by leaving you out of the loop. That would work if they were out of the loop to where they didn't know anything was going on. But similar to how, Matt Murdock in season 3 of Daredevil, when he shows up to Foggy and he's just like, no, I don't want you involved. He's gonna get involved. It's Foggy. Your best friend. He's gonna get involved somehow. So you not being there to help keep him alive is dumber than you just... Wait, no. You not being there to keep him alive. Yeah, it's dumber than you bringing him in so that way you can keep him close and protect him. Same here for Hawkeye. That Kate is a wildfire. She's going to go do her own thing because that's who she is. You've seen it so far. She's done it several times this season. You just saying, oh no, the danger's real now, is not just going to make her go, oh, the danger's real? Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go sit in my room now, and I'm just not going to do anything else. I'm done. You said the danger's real? I'm done. No, she's going to do something stupid, get herself caught, get herself almost killed, and you're going to have to go save her because you didn't keep her in the loop. You didn't work with her. Oh, it's just so dumb. And then as far as Kate's concerned, like the whole thing, her going over there, whenever he was like, yeah, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to get in. Like, it ended up working out okay because she managed to find a way in. But at the same time, like, you got to realize he knows what he's doing. And you just walking over there and going in and all of this stuff, like, that's dumb. That's really dumb. And so far, like, she's been trying to learn from him, trying to figure out what to do. And yet this one time, because they wanted to make it a comedic moment, she's like, I'm not going to listen to him this time. But that's not part of her character. Part of her character is she wants to learn from Hawkeye. She's going to listen to him because she wants to find out how he does what he does. So her leaving doesn't make any sense. Her walking away while he's talking and deciding, I'm going to go do it myself, is not learning from him. It's, I know better than you. And she's not exhibited that at all this season. Aside from her trying to help, but that's not really a I'm better than you type of thing. That's a she wants to help him. And this is not a helping him thing. This is a I'm going to one-up you thing. So, yeah, just a lot of stuff that's kind of messy. It's not really working out well. It's still good. It's still enjoyable for me. There's a lot of moments that make me laugh, get me excited. The possibilities that they're bringing up for, like, characters that could be involved. There's a lot of that. But for me, there's some issues that they're not really doing well. They're not addressing very well. And it feels like could be a little bit messy, especially with these final 2 episodes. You've got this breakup, and now how are they going to get working together again, and how are they going to handle it? This team of firefighters and policemen and all of this stuff, like, they seem to be building up that they're going to be involved somehow as well. And I mean, they were funny for that one LARPing episode, but it feels like they're starting to become more of a thing. And I don't know if that's going to work out well. We'll see. But it's not something that whenever they brought them back in, I'm like, oh, yes, them. I'm ready to see more of them. I was more excited to see Hawkeye and Kate bonding more and getting to work as a team more. So there's some good, there's some bad, but overall, still enjoying it. Looking forward to seeing what the 5th and next week's 6th episode hold. As well as, you know, whatever No Way Home holds, because that released today, I think. I think it releases tonight. Like, it's the opening day is technically tomorrow, but they released movies the night before. So, but yeah, looking forward to seeing where the rest of the show goes. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these 2 episodes? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Hawkeye reviews, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.